This is muted. Oopsie. Hi. Anyway, welcome back. Hi. Hey. Welcome back to more, Case 4 of DGS2. So, Mr. Barricade here, the guy who's, managing the Barricade prison, does not want to talk to us because we're apparently Japanese and he doesn't want anything to do with us. So we're gonna go talk to Professor Mikotoba because Mikotoba actually mentioned him by name at one point. So we're gonna see if, Susato's father can help us out here a little bit. A little unfortunate. Anyway, oh! I'm sorry, I kinda appreciate just him casually reading the papers in the background. Sorry to disturb you, but we need help. Oh, it's Professor Mikotoba.
Oh, it's you two. I finally just got a moment to relax.
I don't see Judge Jigoku around.
Yes, he can be quite restless sometimes. Apparently, he went to exchange greetings with the folks at the Department of Justice.
You two just arrived in London. He certainly is eager, isn't he? Professor Mikotoba, didn't you say earlier that you owed a lot to the Chief Officer down at the prison?
Oh, you mean Chief Officer Barricade?
I knew it. We have something we'd like to speak to the Chief Officer about. But he said he wouldn't speak to a suspicious Oriental lawyer.
He might agree to speak to you if I went along, but...
In that case, please, we can go now.
But as you can see, I'm rather busy at the moment.
You are? Really? Because it looked like you were sitting around sipping coffee.
Come now, don't be like that. I've got things to prepare for tomorrow.
Right, sorry. I didn't even say anything. You Mikotobas are just too good at reading people. I think it's just that you Naruhodos are just easy to read.
Now, you two. Just give me a moment.
Professor Mikotoba wrote something with a few smooth sweeps of his fountain pen.
Here's a letter of introduction. You might be able to get somewhere if you mention my name.
Thank you very much. Professor's letter of introduction. A letter from Professor Mikotoba to Chief Officer Barricade introducing us. This should get him to talk to us.
Well, good luck, you two.
I like how Mikotoba doesn't even ask why we need to talk to Barricade, but you know, thanks. You're a real pal. Okay, so now we're gonna head back over to Chief Barricade. Hey buddy, we're back! So, now we're gonna give him the letter of introduction. About this, Chief Officer Barricade. What do you want? You rotten Japanese exchange students? You can't fool me with your tricks! Mikotoba? You don't mean the Mikotoba from the forensic pathology lab, do you? Yes, that's right. That Mikotoba. Forgive me for not introducing myself sooner. I'm Mikotoba's daughter. My name is Susato. Oh, did you say you're Mikotoba's daughter? Why did you say so sooner? It sounds as though I should have introduced myself much sooner. Come, have a seat. Can I interest you in a cuppa? Help yourself to some handcuffed biscuits to sweeten our interview. Oh my god, that tiny teacup. And those handcuffed biscuits! Professor Mikotoba has incredible influence, doesn't he? Yeah, what's the story behind that? I really wish I had introduced myself sooner. Yeah, what the heck? So, what brings you to a place like this, little miss? Actually, we're investigating an incident. Apparently, one of the jailers at this prison has gone missing, correct? Missing? Yes, we assumed that the news would have already reached you. No, there's no such incident occurring at this prison right now. Huh? What's going on? The jailer in question is Mr. Everett Dame Watchin. What? Dame Watchin? Yes, we were asked by his wife to investigate his disappearance. I think I'll keep quiet about the part about him only having been missing for 1 day. It looks like he's having an inkling. Would you mind speaking to us about it, Chief Officer Sama? Sure, of course. I don't mind, but before that, let's look at stuff like this guillotine clock, this grandfather clock. If you look closely, there's a fearsome blade rising and falling threateningly inside. That's a clock with the motif of a form of execution used during the French Revolution known as a guillotine. Oh, and it actually can cut through things. Like a person's neck? No, of course not! Like carrots and radishes! I see. If I put a radish in there in the morning, it'll chop clean through by evening. That's quite a bit of time for it to finish cutting. How shall I put this? It doesn't sound particularly sharp, does it? I suppose these pictures on the wall must be portraits of former chief officers at this prison? Or maybe they're condemned criminals that Chief Officer Barricade has executed. Either way, I can't deny that they look like rough characters. The character on the far right especially looks badder than bad. That's me. Ah! We're so sorry! Perhaps being a rough character is a condition for being a chief officer? As if. Well, it is taken into consideration, though. Wait, really? Here we have an axe, a rifle, and 4 sets of handcuffs. Quite the fearsome collection of items you've got for decoration. Oh, the items there all have interesting histories behind them. What sort of histories? Did the rifle belong to a serial killer? Is that an ancient gladiator's axe? Are those handcuffs part of a set that was used to capture some bizarre creature with 4 arms and 4 legs? Those sound more like ghost stories than anything else. Oh no, not that kind of history I meant. That axe was used to chop down a cherry tree in my garden, which I was told off for. I see. The handcuffs on the far left are a memento of the first cat burglar I ever arrested, back in my beat officer days. Whoa. It sounds like the type of histories involved are a bit different from what you imagined. I'm mostly relieved, but also slightly disappointed. I didn't expect to see a parrot in a place like this. Is it your pet, Chief Officer? That appearance. In a room like this, I can't help thinking it seems a bit like a prisoner itself.
Let me out of here! Don't want to die! Huh?
Those lines. Did it pick them up from the nightly screams of the prisoners? Oh no, this little guy was originally one of 3 chicks. Those were the names of his 2 other brothers, who were given to different owners. Really? Really? Let me out of here, and do want to die. Way to die! These puns! Holy crap! These are, oh my god. These are definitely names that have been, like, changed to fit the English language, because that is probably not what it is in Japanese. It's probably a Japanese pun. but it wouldn't translate right in English, so holy crap, bless you. Bless you, Ikari. Alright, let's get some food, Millicent. Millicent! Ah! Millicent! It's a big shelf of documents. The labels have prisoners' names written on them. Oh, what did I hit? I hit something else. Oh, I hit the deer? How did I hit the deer? Okay, I guess I hit the deer. That deer's gaze has been boring into my neck the whole time we've been here. Huh? He can't enter the room, and it's too late to pull his head back out. So he's stuck just watching us sadly. That's taxidermy. The deer isn't alive. What? I guess she's right. I thought someone tried to send an assassin in at us through the vent or something. Begging your pardon, but I believe you've been reading too much Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Okay, apparently here is a deer. It's a big shelf of documents. The labels have prisoners' names written on them. A huge amount of materials is all arranged neatly from A to Z. That's 50 years worth of Barclay prison's inmate records. The ones who got out alive are the ones who died here. They're the grave markers of the records and memories of the crimes they left here. These records of crimes and punishments feel awfully heavy. That aside, why is he whipping out tea and cookies for a topic like that? I mean, it would be a long discussion going through them all, so maybe that's why. We could have a cuppa, have some biscuits while we talk about it. Head jailer Dame Watchin. So, Dame Watchin-san is the head jailer at this prison, correct? Yes, that he was. He was a wonderful jailer, very responsible and mindful of his duties. He was? Yes, he retired from his job at this prison. What? And when was that? He whipped out a comb. Let's see, how long ago was it? I believe it was about 10 years ago. What? What? He quit being a jailer 10 years ago? Wait, what? Yes. Actually, I hadn't heard his name in 10 years until you just said it to me. Hearing that he's gone missing is quite concerning. But Mr. Daywatch's wife didn't say a thing about that. It sounds as though Mrs. Damewatchin wasn't aware that Damewatchin-sama had quit his position as the head jailer. Could you mind telling us a little more, Chief Officer? Why did Dame Watchin-san quit being the head jailer? Okay, but what happened 10 years ago? Is that really important? Yes, I think it is. Naruhodō-sama, I can't help wondering about the fact that it happened 10 years ago. 10 years ago was the year the professor was held here. 10 years ago. So, Dame Watchin-san quit his position as a head jailer 10 years ago? What on earth happened? To be precise, he didn't quit. He was sacked. You mean he was fired? Yeah, it happened after a certain observation. Observation? Yes, that's our lingo. It means the observation of an execution. Execution? It's the head jailer's duty to direct everything, from the preparation of the gallows to the matters following the execution. However, during his last observation, he did something utterly mad. Whatever did Dame Watchin-sama do? I'm terribly sorry, but I can't discuss it with unrelated persons like yourselves. It's incredibly unusual for a head jailer to be sacked, though. But apparently Mrs. Dame Watson didn't know about any of this. She still thinks he's working at this prison as the head jailer. It's not our place to tell her. May I just ask one thing? What is it, young lady? Regarding the final execution Dame Watson-sama observed, was it perhaps the professor's? I thought so. That must be it. I'm terribly sorry, but I can't tell you that. I see. Professor Mikotoba. My father came to study abroad in the Great British Empire in order to study forensic pathology, but it seems as though you knew him well, Chief Officer Sama. Forensic pathology, the prison, and the shared cemetery all have a rather deep connection with each other. After all, fresh corpses are required in order to study forensic pathology. I can kind of imagine. I suppose medical progress can get a little dirty sometimes, can it? The forensic pathology lab that Mikotoba studied in is on the opposite side of the shared cemetery. It's in the basement of St. Antrude's Hospital. They're still carrying on quietly down there. Antrude. I feel like I've heard of that. I think so. We've been there before ourselves. Mikotoba would often come over in a carriage to do pickups. He must have been coming for their freshest goods. We often discuss anatomy in this very room. Sure brings back memories. With a fragrant cuppa in one hand and some handcuffed biscuits in the other. I see. Mikotoba was a trustworthy man who was highly dedicated to his research. Yet, I just can't understand you Japanese. He must mean Asogi Genshin. Now then. I believe that's about all I could say on the subject. Thank you very much, Chief Officer Barricade-sama. One moment, please. Should be around here somewhere. You can have this as a souvenir of your visit to the prison. What's this? It's head jailer Dame Watch's disciplinary dismissal notice from 10 years ago. Oh! Are you sure it's alright? Of course. It's not the original copy, though. We'll still take it. Disciplinary dismissal notice. A heavy punishment handed down 10 years ago to head jailer Dame Watchin by Barclay Prison. Thank you very much, Chief Officer Barricade. In return, promise me you won't be back. That incident is over. I'm sorry to say, but we'll probably be back later. There's way too much stuff about the professor in this case that there's no way we're not going to visit it again. Now then, it might be best if we return to Baker Street for a bit. Yes. We need to report what we found out about Mr. Dame Watchin to Holmes-san. What are we supposed to tell Mrs. Dame Watchin? I don't know. Alright, let's move back to Holmes' place. Same day, unspecified time, Holmes' room. We're back! Welcome home! I thought you might be home soon, so I baked some scones. I thought something smelled good. Hey, welcome back, folks! What the heck, Holmes? Thought you took less time than that took you less time than I expected. Why is your hair blue now? Hi, Home-san. Oh, Home-sama. No, it's alright. No need to say a word, as one might imagine. Trying to change my hair back to its normal color right away by splashing a random chemical on it was a bad idea. Indeed. So, what did you find out about our dear head jailer? Right, it's not as stunning as your hair, but we did find out something surprising. Yes, it's not as stunning as your hair, but it turns out that the head jailer was—
Holmes! There's been a crime. Help me, Holmes!
Gina-san? Gina?
I don't know what to do anymore.
What? This is the first time I've seen her use this animation. What's wrong, Gina-sama? It must be something truly horrible. After all, she didn't say a single word about my bright blue hair.
The boss is—
Uh-oh. The boss? Does she mean Detective Gregson? Oh no!
The boss is dead!
Oh no! What? Huh?
We found him earlier. He'd been shot with a pistol.
What? No. Detective Gregson-sama is— he was murdered. No way! Just come inside. Tell us what happened. Oh my god! It's still processing in my head! Gregson is dead?! What?! Gregson's death. Is it true, Gregson? Gina-san? Was Detective Gregson really shot?
I don't know all the details either, but I'm investigating the crime scene right now.
And where is the crime scene?
A small, empty room for rent just off of Fresno Street.
That's outside of London. Not the sort of place a detective would live in. Was he investigating something there?
All the other police said they didn't know.
That's very odd, isn't it?
I learned so much from the boss. I still can't do any of it myself, but I was sure I'd be able to show him someday that man should become a proper detective.
Oh my god. Jeannie! The murderer. So, what about the person who shot Detective Gregson?
He was arrested.
Huh? He was arrested?
An eyewitness reported the crime right away. He was caught by the officers who rushed to the scene.
Who was it? Who's the damn wretched murderer? Susano's not holding back.
I can't believe it.
Huh?
It's the Grim Reaper.
Wait a second. The Grim Reaper? You can't mean the one who was arrested was Lord Baroque Van Zeeks?
That's right! The Grim Reaper killed my boss!
Holy crap! What? Lord Van Zeeks? You know how this is gonna go. We're gonna have to defend him, but what? Lord Baroque Van Zeeks. See, I'm still like flustering around right here. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks? Baroque Van Zeeks? Are you absolutely certain of that?
I mean, I saw them in the interrogation room at the yard.
But
They said there were eyewitnesses, and they all said it was him.
they all. So that means there was more than one witness.
The witnesses heard a gunshot. And when the officers entered the scene of the crime, there was no one in the room but the boss and the Grim Reaper.
I just can't believe Lord Van Zeeks would take Detective Gregson's life. Neither can I. I understand the situation. This is truly awful news. I'm so sorry, Miss Lestrade. Or Lestrade? Lestrade.
Why are you apologizing?
Holmes?
Anyway, we're gonna send a carriage flying to the crime scene. You lot come as fast as you can too! I'm begging you!
Gregson has been with us since the first game. What? Detectives always appear at the crime scene after the deed has already been done, with foolish looks on their faces. Sometimes I can't help feeling so powerless. Holmes-san. What nonsense! This great detective is sick of it, I tell you! I was here and... Gregson! I'm going on ahead to investigate, Mr. Naruhodō. Oh wow, this is also hitting Holmes pretty hard. Right, we'll set out right away too. Also, I'll leave Reapy to you to... Well, I guess that goes without saying, doesn't it? Now then, until we meet again, folks. Detective Gregson was murdered, and Lord Van Zeek was arrested. Naruhodō-kun, Susato-chan, I called you a carriage. Thanks. Let's go, Susato-san. Right! We are... Okay, yeah, we're gonna run out of time, so we will look into the crime scene in the next video. Oh my god, a lot just happened within the span of 5 minutes just right there. Well, we'll get to the bottom of this in the next video. See you guys then!